acknowledge him. But now we want to open the floor to hear some of the criticisms. We want to hear some of the solutions that you may have. I said earlier today on the interview, there are some things that we may not have taken into consideration that we want to give you the opportunity, because you may come up with something that we may not have come up with, but we want to make sure that your voices are heard on this evening. So we're going to open the floor. I do want to let you know this is a town hall. There is more than one commissioner that is present. So no action, no official action will be taken on tonight. We will be taking notes, and we will be listening, and we will be coming. We'll be coming back to you in more forms. Again, this is the first forum that I've done, but it will not be the last forum that I do. I want to make sure that our citizens have that safe environment. So we're just now going to open the floor. I have before you Ms. Melina Thomas, but that's a part of the solution. So we're going to talk about the solution after we address the problem. So now the floor is open. If you have something that you would like to say, if you could stand up. I don't believe we have a mic that will be passed around, but if you can stand up and speak loudly or come into the center so that we can identify you, we would love to hear from the community at this point. Yes, sir, Mr. Napier. If you would say your name as well.
Napier, but over speaking, I remember Chicago, they tore down their project. And the only reason I'm asking of it, we can come here all day, this been going on since I was born. You place everybody in a certain community. You set everybody up, same apartments. Everybody grew up trying to be different from everybody, but you got everybody crunched up. And to be quite frankly, I mean, it's like being in prison. You go out there, fences up around it, what you expect everybody to act like. And I know this beyond the city, that's housing authority. But everybody in the community growing up want to be different. When you don't have something, the next door neighbor right here, they see you slacking or whatever, so people start acting up. We can beat up around the bush all day long. They don't put up fences, everybody in one little area, you know, everything, you can get a whooping, and the next morning, everybody laughing because everybody hurt. So one of the main issues, everybody is bunched up in one area and it's been like that forever. So do you think it's gonna get better? No, it's gonna continue to get worse. People growing up, there's only so many jobs in the community. People want difference, but you got a YMCA and what? I think for the city, we ain't never had it. We had the gym, the city gym, that been closed down, the Jenkins had it. You got programs closed down and funding and all that. I'm not saying that because I know some of y'all are newly elected, but I'm just speaking from way back. Things that I seen start going away. We used to play flag football thing, we used to call it Fred Green. They don't build park up, there's no football field right there no more. So you taking things away. Like I said, when I was a little child, I didn't get the experience, but I seen some of it. It used to be a pool at football park. You taking things away, but you're not bringing it back. And like I said, that's way beyond y'all. Just things that I can remember. Things that you to be able to go. I remember we paid 50 cents or 75 cents to go to the pool at Ravine Garden. It's gone. Half of the kids around here can't even swim. I mean, a lot of things that is coming up. Summertime, what the kids gotta do? You don't see kids out riding bikes and things like that no more. They all playing GTA. Learning how to shoot and do everything else on it. You gotta bring in more programs. You gotta be more open. I mean, and I'll put this out there. I remember I was getting in trouble in school and I was showing out. And the reason I was showing out and the school didn't have anything to help me because I was in slow class, ESC. I used to get picked at if I walked through them double doors and everybody see you. So you start acting out because I'd rather be in ISS than everybody is picking at me in school. But the school don't pick up on that. They just say, oh, he's showing out. Right. But no, you don't understand what certain kids go through. You put them in ISS and you separate them. Now everybody, oh, he's slow, and all this. But then you blame it on the child and all that. But everybody got to have an open eye and try to figure some things out. When them kids get in middle school, if you're in slow class, you're down a whole nother wing. Everybody picking at you. Why you can't blend it in? Give me some easier work in a regular class. Nobody really know I'm in a slow class. But then you say these kids are acting out and doing all this, but people stuck on older ways. Switch it up some. You know, I put myself out there, but you gotta understand, half of the kids that act up at that high school or middle school, a lot of them in slow classes and things like that. They want to ask for help, but they know if they raise their hand and say, hey, teacher, I can't do 5 times 5. Ah, he's stupid, he's retarded. Find something else to help kids instead of just throwing them out there to the wolves.
Sir, thank you so much. Mr. Miller. And again, before Mr. Miller speak, I want you all to know, I'm here to listen. So there are a lot of things when you all speak, I'm just gonna say thank you and keep it moving and not elaborate, so do not take it as I'm ignoring you, but I'm here to listen so that I can get with my team and so that we can try to address some of these things here, Mr. Miller.
Thank you. Was myself trying to find a way to get the community to come out and do the same lesson. So I thank you for that. So years ago, we were doing the same thing and it kicked out momentum. But I personally think that we did have to change the mindset to even want to change that all. I'm kind of share his sentiment a little bit for like things to do. And maybe a solution is maybe a treasure grant money or something that we brought forward to do the Votex style thing where they had and like college classes and stuff like that, just like a Votex style like they had over there for like once before we get them something to do while they're young. Teenagers, so they continue to go to school and learn. So they'll be more willing to just not get in trouble and hang out and do stuff that the old way in the cafe. So I mean, stuff like that. And another thing is, I think the city should look into these face masks that these kids are wearing around town all day long, every day. It's not a proper thing. They walk up on me with face masks, and some of them think something wrong. Pants, sagging, face masks, and jackets. So I think Votex style thing for giving the kids something to do. It's better to attempt to try than not try at all. We've done this for years. We have meetings at churches and stuff. I don't know if you were the problem, but a couple other people were. And after the meeting, it just disappeared. It wasn't an issue. So if we can keep this going after this meeting, it'll be better.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, also. Mr. Clark, I believe I saw your hand.
How you doing? Morning. First of all, we really got to stop calling these kids gangbangers. Because they ain't no gangbangers. Like, where you get this gangbangers from, you see young men with these blue red flags. It comes from prison. They don't come from black. So the gangbanging situation, they went into 2 gangs known as black. That's the 23rd Street gang and the 8th Street gang, both of them demolished. When you gangbangers, this is when they went to prison. They picked it up and was survival. It's in concrete here. And as for our community, I hold myself accountable for the violence and some of the nonsense that's going on in the community, because I was part of that. Doesn't mean seeing a little young men going in different directions doesn't mean sitting there not pointing them in the right direction, get them right. As for what the city can do, it's a lot of improvement. I went attended the city commission meeting. Y'all say you had 100 homeless people in the best package building. Y'all be willing to pay $300,000 to get that building to go down, but you got 100 homeless where the chief police says it's on them, fire chief says it's on them, the city says it's on them. But it's not one time nobody said what we gonna do to place to have for the 100 people after that. So what this is community from, and when we gangbang, when y'all classify them as gang members, they don't hit every household, not just in the black community, they don't hit the white community too. So how can you describe who is gangbanging like? What's the ratio of it? Me and Mr. Miles the other day, we rolled around. We talked to a couple of young generation. And the main thing all of them said, they ain't got them guys. So to us, we scared to talk to them. And we all, I'm gonna be honest, we scared to come up to them because we don't know what they want. And they scared coming up to us for guys, because they don't know how to approach us. So it's like, I hope the community and all, anything come forward, I'm willing to take accountability to move forward and get the community to come together to help our young generation come move in a positive direction.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Anybody else?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Patricia Daniel. My husband was Jim Roger Daniel. He went from there 2 years ago. We moved over to the north side about probably 8 years ago and bought into the White Project. Everybody knows White Project here. Everybody was raised there before anything else. When I came there, I noticed that there were young people on every corner over there. The young boys with their pants down and they were trying to make money. Okay, I passed each corner and I would just look at them. And give that energy, okay, why are you out here? You're not making any money. You're definitely not gonna get ladies like me, because we don't want men and boys with their pants down. So I talk to them every day for probably over a year and let them know that they can go out and get a better job than standing on the counter. And it got to where those young men, 20 and 19, they started respecting, they understood it. I don't feel like the lack of children are bad kids. I don't even think the young boys who trying to sell on the street are bad. They're not really gaming. They want to be gaming because they never would have changed for me. Over on the north side, we don't have them on the corners now. It took me 3 years to get them off the corner. Now it's quiet there. Now I can have those apartments that can be safe. You hear the birds sing. None of that was there no more. If the gun and shooting and fight and all that is happening, it's not happening on our end. Even the spirit and the energy we put out there has passed over to Washington Street. You don't see the crowd there no more. You don't see the corner and the game there no more because we spread the seed of love. Right now, I'm feeling like Palaca just don't have the components. They're missing those special components that it needs to change and make a city great. Our young people need us to stand up to them. Like the gentleman said, he may not want to talk to them because he's afraid. We can't be afraid. You want to save your children, you want to save your town, you need to get involved. Right now, we are, like the gentleman said, we need some grant money. City don't have grant money to put into our children in the community. They only can do so much. So right now, with my husband running and what we're gonna give for the area, we started a community fresh start. And that whole symbol was to brand Jenkins School because I saw those young kids come and fight all over the place before I moved out there. I had no idea why they fight. Oh, those are bad kids from Jenkins. I don't believe in no bad kids. It's only bad parents. You see what I'm saying? We need to guide the kids. We need direction for them. We need nourishing for them. We need to listen to them because they know what's going on in the community. When everybody said, "Oh no, it's no drug house," those were the kids with the students. Because yes, ma'am, it is. Because I have them every day. I have them on my camera. They told me I couldn't put cameras up at White Park, but drug they're gonna shoot down. I said, just watch them. And what happened? It changed everything. So it's quiet there. Now everybody said, "Oh, the drug trafficking gonna move on the other side of town." We can spread that same seed. This community first start we started with be open as of January 6th. Any mentoring your child needs, bring it to us. We will sit down and talk to them. You need us to come to you, we will talk to you. My husband, Junior, right there, he would love to talk to him. He was thinking about doing chess just to give. Chess is a way to, from what my husband says, a way to guide people in direction, how to make decisions. So we want to come together. We want to fix the tension that we got in the neighborhood. Because we got a lot of tension in the neighborhood. And if we want our kids to be good citizens, we need to teach them and give them the opportunity to be able to be leaders. Right now, over here, we're baby boomers. We up in our 70s and 80s, We got to grow the young people up now. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And we got to grow them up and we got to really encourage them to be leaders. He position these commissioners got. They're gonna run out soon. We need young people to take their place. How can old people think for the young people when they know what they want? Let's listen to the kids. As of, like I said, January 6th, it is on the Secretary of State. We will have our community fresh start. And if you see the symbol, it is the Jenkins kids on there because I want to brand them in that neighborhood because they so that neighborhood can get better. It has got to be better. We just need to have nourish our kids. Have somebody come and talk to them. You see something ain't right in your neighborhood, report it. If somebody doing willings in your street, catch it on the camera and say, "I want this gone." Stand up and speak for yourself. We are missing the components that we need to make this a great city. And that's love, understanding, and providing. Some people are children that they would like. And matter of fact, I'm gonna put this out there because I love kids. I want to bring us and talk to the line, skating and bowling center in the mall by our children. So they can find an outlet to go somewhere with parents and children and learn how to act. It's a mindset we need to create. So if you all love it, you want to get with me, I'm willing to work with anybody who's willing to, the school board, love kids, always love them. I've always loved them from the age of 10. I didn't want to help the kids get to school back and forth. The parents couldn't take the kids to school because they had a bunch of kids. Get them to Patricia, take them. I'm only 19 years old. I had 15 kids crossing the highway. You ask Martin Luther King kid? Oh, he told his daddy, Mr. King, he said, Patricia, take him. But Mama, Mrs. Coretta, she had a baby. She couldn't walk them 4 blocks. He said, I heard a lot about you, young lady. And I said, well, is it okay? He said, yeah, because I love the children. And I told everybody that put their kids out on Eagle Street, they got off that bus. I got out there with them teachers and them parents fighting with them. And I said, no, don't your kids get out right here? You don't have to worry about your kids being safe, because I'm going to be in the middle of it. So let's get together. Let's find out what we need to do. Let's put this together. Because all of us getting older, the kids are growing up. They're going to be grown soon. We want them to see it. And I thank you.
Started getting a report that somebody had passed away, it kind of bothered me. But I shared that with you, and I wasn't even gonna come to this meeting. And I told my husband I was coming anyway. And sometimes people say it doesn't make a difference who comes to come home. But I can honestly say the Black Police Department, for me, they did their investigation. They did what they were supposed to do about my child. We can't put it all on law enforcement. Every time something happens, you want to blame law enforcement, you want to blame the commissioner, you want to blame everybody. The training starts at home. So I couldn't be quiet. I'll be careless to sit here and just say it's law enforcement. When I came to Reed Street that night, I had an event. And let me tell you how God works. I had an event at the fairground. So God allowed me to cancel the event at the fairground because really nobody wasn't showing up. When I came from Palatka, it was people like everywhere, all down the side road, all in the road. They were everywhere. So I was like, this is very abnormal, which I did see law enforcement, but we also got to remember that law enforcement is people. They have families. They want to go home to their families as well. Bullets don't know nobody. So everybody always want to say, why didn't law enforcement do this? Why didn't law enforcement do that? So sometimes as a parent, we have to sit down and say, why didn't you keep your kid home? You can control your kid. Okay, we can train the kid all we want to. I had 3 biologics. You can train them. You can tell them. You can tell them what you went through, because guess what? We done been through some of the same things. Do they listen? Everybody don't listen. So when they go outside of the home and they do this, that, and the third, it's not on the parent all the time. When the parent has did their raising the best that they know how, one thing about that I learned about life, when God made us, we have an entrance date and we have an exit date. None of us don't know how we're gonna leave here. It can be tragic. It can be in our sleep. We just don't know. So I just wanted to say, I'm listening. Stop trying to blame everybody else. Hold accountability. It ain't even the parent. Hold accountability for the child. Sometimes parents don't even know the child went and got a gun. Sometimes parents don't even know where they get the gun from, the knife from, all this kind of stuff. It's not just about the parents should have kept a grip or whatever. I love my boy. I just had seen my boy less than 3 hours before he was murdered. If you would have told me that my boy was gonna be murdered that night, I would have my boy home with me because he had just left my house. So don't come and just be like, it's law enforcement problem or it's somebody else's problem. Learn to own up to their own problem. Guns don't have nowhere in our community. The 17-year-old boy that passed away that night, that hurt me real bad, because in my mind, I'm saying he is not even old enough to carry a gun. He's not even old enough to carry a gun. I don't know whose gun it was. I can't even tell you if it was his gun. You know why? Because it's hearsay. I don't know whose gun it was. But I know that at the end of the night, you had two young men that dead on the ground. And for anybody that has morals, to sit there and record instead of helping a person, that bothers me as well. So with that being said, evaluate your own home. Stop trying to point the fingers at everybody else. And I'm willing, if you need me for anything, I know that I'm willing to help. I don't know if they'll listen, but I'm willing.
Thank you. And just 1 second, just to go back on, you can stand up, I won't be long. What Ms. Clark said, we are going to have an ask before we leave tonight. And that's what that ask is going to be, that we have you all play an active part in helping this community heal, but also helping this community go into a direction where violence is a thing of the past. So we're gonna have that ask, probably to us leaving here. It's not gonna be an ask. We want it to be a commitment, because one thing that we lack in this community is commitment. We talk about things when they're hot, but when they're no longer hot, they're on the back burner until something else happens. And we don't want that something else to happen prior to us coming together and having a force that can go out into this community to help with our youth. Not only our youth is not the only ones that's faced with problems, but our adults as well. So we're gonna have that act. Thank you for bringing it up, Ms. Canty.
I think it's Beverly. My grandson came home with a gun blast. I called the police. I felt like he was going to hell or jail. And I do believe that I scared his brain. I hope so. He's not out in the streets anymore. He's cutting hair. And every child doesn't learn from a book. The vocation should start in elementary school, because I know simply is that they cannot learn from a book, but they can take apart a radio, a car, and put it back together. Everybody doesn't learn. Take the children and let them do what they know how to do. And I know a little boy, he could tell a story, and wow. But everybody doesn't learn from a book, and we need to start by they're small. Because they're not gonna get up and say, I don't know what this word is, I can't read that, I can't do this. So they act out in school, and we start when they're young. So when they get big, they'll be in a different direction.
We'll have Mr. Killaview, the young lady that stood up behind, and then we'll go to Ms. Smith.
Hey, I'm Ed Tillman, I'm a local businessman. Y'all, love you to death. You know I love you. I love the police department, I love law enforcement, I love to help y'all. But I do have some questions. Just you started this on Facebook when the rumors started hitting the fans. I appreciate you doing that. You started trying to cut them down and everything like that. And everybody was getting upset, and that's what I was understanding that this was kind of about tonight, was trying to get everything up, part of that under control. So I do have a couple questions of you, Chief Shaw. All the rumors on Facebook were, and all the things that were on Facebook, that this crowd, most of it, are the ones that, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, the trouble followed, were in St. Augustine. And then they ran them off from St. Augustine and St. John's Sheriff's Office. And pushed them back over this way, or they run them off on the spot they were in. And then they had radioed y'all, or however they got that telephone y'all, or the law enforcement community, not just the lack of police department, that they might be headed back over this way. Is that true? And is it, I mean, you know, if it's true, because if you look at Facebook and all the videos on Facebook shows black police department across the street, they're in that parking lot looking at that whole crowd. And, you know, just that big crowd going on down there. I don't care who it was or what they were, you know, that just got to be too big. I mean, that was almost like I don't know what going on down there. And, you know, and just so much drinking, alcohol, drugs. And I asked the question here too, what are we doing at 2 o'clock in the night being 17 years old? Well, that's what they were saying. I mean, that's where I'm going. That's what I'm saying. I just trying to get some rest. And, you know, because they're saying it's 2 o'clock in the morning and drinking and all that going on. So, you know, I hate to be pot stirrer here, but I'm asking those questions.
All good questions, but as we started out, most rumors, and when a lot get out in rumors, the pot does get stirred.
Yes, sir.
But a lot of things are simple, and one thing I hate is to address things. Me and Commissioner Campbell talked about it earlier today, but you can't solve things on Facebook. Social media doesn't have a lot of truth. And when you address things on social media, all you do is add more fuel to the fire. So let's start with question one. Question one was there an event over in St. Johns County that they shut down? The answer to that question is yes. Were we notified that they were coming back over here? No, we were notified that they were in a chase with a Corvette that was headed in this direction. That part of the message got blurred, that the event that they shut down was all Putnam County that eventually came back over here. No, sir. It was a portion of it that the vehicle that they were chasing was coming back into Putnam County via 207. That's what they notified law enforcement of. Then we'll move on to the gathering. And I think all of you know, one of the things that's great in social media, unbeknownst to law enforcement, is you can get on Facebook and say, meet me at this corner. And in 5 minutes, that corner is flooded with a number of individuals. How we address it, it's not illegal. First Amendment doesn't prohibit you to assemble. What we do understand is our numbers, and we have a policy on how we address assemblies. So my staff first must address it in that manner. And from there, once we've identified that there is illegal activity in there, we get assistance and we begin dispersing the crowd. Our officers were in the progress of dispersing the crowd when the actual event occurred. We were on scene. So a lot of that to what we hear and what we take into account from Facebook, you get pieces of the truth, but then you also get rumors, and rumors stir the pot, cause confusion, and breed anger. So we have to be very careful on what we hear and what we spread and how we address those issues.
Thank you.
Smiling only thing I moved here about 8 years ago, so like I've been saying that for 8 years. And I'm gonna pick up on a couple ideas that I've heard tonight. As a newcomer to the area, I love this town. It has such a strong church force. I love the police department. They cannot do it on their own. One of my concerns, they had a wonderful New Year's Eve event. And I have to admit, I don't have the courage that this lady has standing here today. I've left you because I was afraid to go because I've been dropping trouble down. However, I want to pick up on the idea that you had talked about with the shirts for the kids in your school. Look at Parental, the turkey trot, and you see the sea of shirts, you know what they stand for. We have Positively Putnam as our logo, and if we as a community can get a grant, incentives for kids to get shirts, Positively Putnam, and build up this and follow through with what these gentlemen are trying to present and stand as a force. Look, we're all standing together. We have Positively Putnam power. We have everybody, not just one church or another church, but the whole town with ribbons or whatever the logo or whatever the thing is showing that what we stand for. I think that each of us in this room can say when we were kids, we might have skirted away from somebody was being good when we were trying to be bad. But if we went down into the Blue Cross Festival and we saw a sea of community saying, we are here showing our force, the police officers don't have to look at 300 people, because 295 of them were wearing a shirt. And I know a shirt is simplistic, that please follow the point, are showing their strength and their camaraderie for the town, so they only have to keep an eye on 5. And if we're trying to describe something that happened, I don't know about you, but anybody under 50 right now, I think they look like they're 12. So it could be a 35-year-old. We're like, that was a 20-year-old. We don't know. We can't help the police pick out who did what, because we don't have that kind of training. But we do have a force. And again, I want to go back to when I first moved here, the drama club, Mary Poppins was on, and that play, everybody was wearing a t-shirt. You could not miss that drama club was being supported. It created a vibe, it created an energy for me as a newcomer that, wow, this town pulls together. So there is no doubt in my mind that a force can be created and the police can be supported if we can show that the stronger people are in force. And again, I know it's not as simplistic as a t-shirt or simplistic as a t-shirt, but I love the idea that she has showing that her kids in her school are a pack of good kids. And again, an incentive for the principals to award the kids or get the t-shirt, get everybody saying, we're going for positive, not negative. I think that starts from the ground up, and it shows we have a community of men here that started a program and said it didn't get followed through. But if you're showing that force, and I'm showing that force, then I can look at you and say, you're not a problem for me, we're part of the solution. And I think that's important, because we don't know who's working towards good, or who's gonna cause, we need someone to look at who's working towards good. So I just wanna share that there's a lot more good than bad, and there's a lot of strength and a lot of unity in this town, and I see it as someone from the outside. And if we want people coming from the outside, we don't want to be on Jazz News a week before an event with a problem. We can show a sea of camaraderie. Thank you for your time, and thank you for everybody being here. A lot of strength, a lot of courage, I do.
Thank you. Mr. Stephanie.
I have been living about 24 years now at the north side, so I really consider myself a local. A little over 10 years ago, there was a really good program at Parental High School and all the other high schools too. It was called Oasis, and I was part of it. It was run by, I think, Ms. And we as parents monitored the hallways, the bathrooms, we spent time when the students had lunch in the cafeteria. We spoke with students who seemed to be distressed or sitting alone, and it was a really good program, and people were really responding well to it, and a lot of crime went down in all the high schools that were involved. So I really would like to see a program like that reinstated. I still have all the paperwork regarding this program if you're interested. So that's what I would like to say. I also have been living before Palatka in Key West, and we bought a little place in a really drug-infested area, and we started together with the police force and people from the area, African Americans, white people. We started a group, Up With Hope, Down With Dope. And we had t-shirts, yellow t-shirts, and we went to the neighborhoods and bikes, and where there was a drug deal, we tried to talk to the drug dealers, we tried to talk to the drug buyers, and we disrupted their business, and we had great success with that. So I would like to see if we could start a program like that also. And then, of course, Alaska has a lot of problems, but this is really major. Why? I am from the Netherlands. There are more guns than people in the United States, according to a new study. So there are more than 393 million civilian-owned firearms in the United States, or enough for every man, woman, and child to own one and still have 67 million guns left over. It is not addressed, this gun problem.
I am from the Netherlands, and it's one of the most dense countries of the world. There have been 0 school shootings because we're not allowed to own a gun. Only police force own guns, and maybe criminals probably. But that's and another thing that needs to be addressed is that the prisons here are for profit. They should not be for profit. And I read terrible articles about people that, were arrested for little minor things, a lot of them African Americans, and were thrown in jail because it's a money maker. So it's just a lot of things wrong, but locally we can do things like noise and squat, or like up the hill, down the hill. So I would like to volunteer and be part of the solution.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Folks over here, the teachers, administrators, police and fire, you've got so much to do. You need us.
Maybe not to me, because years ago in Boston, but but what is important? Communication and respect. We have to find out what they need from us. Okay, and what we can do. And this may sound negative, but I don't mean it to be. To change policy, to go through legislation, to do gun control, to do all those, that takes 6 months to 6 years to 60 years to change. We have to change behavior of our children. And the moms here, just said, we have got to change behaviors, and I'll give you a quick story. We have people zipping up and down 14th Street in Brentwood. Loud. Drug deals going on in the parking lot, 2 o'clock in the morning. Cars zipping up and down with heavy duty mufflers and so forth. We all talk about it. We all hear about it. We don't do anything about it. I got upset about it. And I went out and I talked to somebody. And I said, would you drive this car at this rate of speed, this loud, in front of your grandmother's house? I thought I was gonna get my ass kicked. I did. He thought about his grandma. He thought about the house. He thought about the noise and how this is affecting. This is the noise we can all do here, whether it's black, white, Hispanic, whatever, it makes no difference. We have got to protect our neighborhoods by giving simple solutions. And I haven't, and I will be brief. I need to know from the police and the fire department and the public works, what can we do? What can we do? Not hearing it now, but hearing about it soon, so that we can do something about it. And those things that you need from us, give us deadlines so we follow up and we meet those deadlines. That's very, very important. Next, we've got to take care of access of communication. There are many things going on in this town that I don't know about, okay, that I should, that you don't know. We should have access to the police notes, not necessarily daily, but weekly, and it should be published, yes, in social media, next door or whatever, so that we know what's going on. I didn't know I had sexual deviants living down the street from my house. I didn't know that we had felons down the street from our house. I didn't know these things. I should know these things. And if there's crime in the neighborhood, stuff happened on 15th Street recently, I'd like to know about it. You all like to know about it, because if you're aware of what's going on in your neighborhood, you're going to think about it. You're going to think about it. You're going to talk to your neighbors and so forth. That's important. To make an immediate reaction to our concern, and I'll be brief, I'm sorry. We've got to stop the speeding of the trucks and the cars in our neighborhoods. It's ridiculous. When I drove down here, I got cut off by a guy in a souped up go-kart with a big engine on the back, loud as heck. And I ran the stop signs. Little kids, which are now living in my neighborhood, are walking and on scooters and playing ball. They can't see these kids. It's tragedy is going to happen. So please, it's on the books. You can do something about mufflers. You can do something about speeders. It's not legislation. It's just, gentlemen, if you can, we'll supply information if that's what you want. But we've got to go after them. And just a couple other things. I just got to say, police, you can put unmanned police cars in high visibility situations. Yeah, a lot of us will know there's nobody in there. But guess what? Some don't, and then we'll slow down. If we can put those radar detectors that are sitting in the corners, some of the lots not being used, that will slow people down. And I just highly, highly recommend that we do this. And I will finish with this. A's of Health right next to me. It is a supermarket at 2 o'clock in the morning. People loud, squealing brakes, making deals. What are they buying? I don't think they're buying model cars. I think they're buying something to the farm. I would love to see more police presence or what you need from us to make it happen, to make your jobs more effective. And I thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. For that judgment, there you go. I'm gonna go with, you first, then Ms. Brown, and then Ms. Session.
My name is Camaraderie. A lot of people know me for it. But anyway,
If you speak up just a little louder.
I want to, input on this. I worked in the system for 20 years. I talked to a lot of the young guys that were coming in. A lot of them don't have role models as men. And we know a lot of father figures are missing in a lot of households. I always thought about, I used to volunteer at, Kelly Smith, going tutoring, with a young guy that graduated. Mama never knew that I was her son tutor, and we were best friends because I felt like if her child had difficulty, that wasn't, anybody's business or anything to talk about. But it made me proud to see this young man finish school and go on to college. But just to say that, I know father roles are missing in a lot of these households. There's a lot of female parents, as I was, raising 2 boys. Got one son, that's the doctor. I lost my other son to the system. I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I raised my children. I taught them the Bible. We went to church, but you got the ones that parents don't teach them that can pull your child. And that's what happened with mine. My son was a gifted student. My oldest child was an honor roll gifted student. Just like I said, he just got another master's degree out of college. But that wasn't supposed to happen, especially when you come from the projects. That was supposed to happen. I was supposed to have 2 boys in college at the same time, and I was a single black parent. But I know it was that man up above, the director. But I lost my child because of his friends, because he always been a humble child. But he didn't have that father figure in his life. And he asked me at the age of 16, why my dad don't spend time with me? How can I answer that question? How can I answer that question? So if our father's gonna be a father to our children, guess who's waiting for? Guess who's waiting for our children? To poison their mind, to direct them in the wrong path. And those same friends that they have, every one of them ended up in the system. But that child that I have as a doctor, all his friends ended up going to college and graduating. So it tells you right there where the boundary broke at. Associate, we got this music boys on my kids' mind. None of them, half of them ain't never been to church. And I know this because I question the young men that come in. Have you ever been to church? No, ma'am. So what you doing out there? Oh, my mama didn't make me do nothing. So what grade did you finish? 8th grade. Who bed did you sleep in every night? Because in my house, you going to school. Amen. You drop out of school, you getting out of my house. I'm not gonna a 13 or 14-year-old. So it's a lot going on in the school. And I always thought about me after I left the system. I want to mentor to the young people. And let them know that system, you're either gonna end up in the system or the graveyard. It's 2 places when you want to hang with the wrong crowd. Don't end up in. It's 2. So me personally, the big brother, big sister program or something, I'm willing to volunteer. Any way that I can.
We have several programs that we'll mention towards the end. That's some of the solutions that we have We have Ms. Ventrell that had her hand up, then we'll go to the session. But I also want to keep in mind, please be mindful of the side chatter that's going on while others are speaking, others are talking, and some are talking negative. We want to be mindful and give everyone the respect that they deserve when they have the floor, as if it was you when you have the floor. So I do want you to be mindful of that. Thank you.
Youth center at downtown, we started at TDF, we were up in 19, which is a youth center. And I would bring them in, you have to simply give them something to do. And I am a young mother, starting, young single mother, been married multiple times, married, I'm baby mom, so ex-wife. At the end of the day, I still had children. So knowing that I had children and I have a love for children, I'm an active community active. So even if they see you coming up to them as though you're preaching, I'm able to say I have an open door. So some parents would look at me as though I'm trying to cater to their demeanor. I am not. They're not listening to you. So trust that when you release them to me and my daughters, I was giving them what it is they needed. I was saying the exact same thing you said. I just met them where they were. Because oftentimes, as adults, we tend to want to go at like this, and we're parents. Even with my own children, who are now 27, 22, 18, 15, 14, they still very much won't listen to me, but can totally hear what someone else said. So I get the dynamic. So I'll sit back and simply pass the torch to someone else. So with me having the youth center downtown, that was out of my pocket, simply because I saw that there was a need for it, to have somewhere for them to call a safe haven. I was grandfathered in by the city having that downtown. Again, out of my pocket, I bought everything. All I asked is to bring the kids. I gave free tutoring. I gave college students community hours to come in and spend their time. Because how can you expect a parent who doesn't have past the 5th grade education to teach a child something as they're coming home failing? Trust me, if you give them to the right people and provide them the right sources, you don't have to belittle the person that does not know. You can't hold them accountable for what they have not been taught. So because not that they're being taught, they haven't. So when they have me, I'm still redirected, reconstructed, but never judging. Listen. Tutoring session. I was taking them to school, dropping them off to school. But I often saw them bring them to the nightclub, but there was prerequisites from a teen club. And I was right across the street from Alex Sharp. I had the cops directly parked across the street every time they got, and I was open from 9 to 12. But what happened was, when they came in, they know their parents had no problem. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're saying to my kid, but they get straight A's. They get 100 because they want to come down here. They want to come in these schools. And that's fine, because I made it seem like they had their own little spot to where they could be teenagers. You know, and that's a lot of people there, the teenagers are finding them to just gather and let their hair down. But because I awarded them because of those good grades. You gotta give them something to do. This little town doesn't even have a YMCA as to why I opened a youth center. Everybody around us can have these things but us. No one wants to allocate funds. I can't, again, with 5 kids, single mother, I couldn't continue to pay the $2,000 downtown out of my pockets. Mr. Nathan wanted his money, so I had to give him his money, but no one was participating to come and help. So we can't sit here and throw hands and all these suggestions, and you're not sitting here willing to put in the work. I don't need a single solitary dime from anyone. I just need time in this space. I promise I'll give it to you with no problem, because I have kids and I have a love for them. When you don't and you can't understand them, they're not. You can't judge a book by its cover. Often people look at me and they see the tattoo and think they know who you are. I didn't get a single tattoo until I was 32 years old. Just a kid, came from a hole in his home. That doesn't mean my mother did not raise me right. Anything that betrayal got into me, it's because betrayal did it, not because I was not raised in it. So if you put that on my mom, that's a distaste for her or my father. So it needs accountability. People need to take accountability. So that's why I can walk up to a team and say, I've been there, I've done it. I see what you're saying, I'm pulling it aside. And they're gonna listen. Now, what you say is how you say it and how you approach it, how you go in. Because if you don't give them somewhere that they can feel that they can safely be themselves, they're gonna go to the next person, and that next person is not the OG in the street, it's the person that's idolized. And Facebook, social media is not gospel, it's gossip.
They go to Facebook and know it's gospel, and it's gossip. And the most lives, all you got to do is write it. If you want to keep something from somebody, put it in them. And I ain't talking about Facebook. So at the end of the day, talking and dialoguing is the only way that's gonna break the situation. And I ain't trying to be your friend, but I will get on your level and bring you to where I am. I'm not gonna look, I treat the custodian just like I do the CEO. And if everybody starts thinking that way and start turning their back, whether you're black, white, purple, green, Mexican, Hispanic, whatever, because I have a melting pot in my family. It doesn't matter. We're all human and bleed blood. And this is a small town. Same thing that happened in Christmas night happens every day. 30 minutes up the road, 45 minutes up the road. It just hurts when you know the person. It makes it more selfish. It makes it more personal. And your heart goes out. And all you can say is, I just pray it's not mine. But at the end of the day, you can't stop food going out the door. What we can stop is not taking accountability, taking ownership, and telling the truth and providing the resources the right way. Because I know for a fact, I have hosted with Commissioner Jones. I've been there turned from one way, and he's had 2 separate gun violence. Stop. I was booked through the city. I'm contracted, you know that, to come back. I see next to nothing. I ain't never seen that. And that's no shade. But I got a food. So everybody wants to jump on your report. I see very few. I see my Zavens. I see my commissioners. I see the people who host, but I don't see audiences. I do. So then we're all just talking. Talk is cheap. Action is what needs to take. In one way or one second.
I've been working with our community for 20 years. Here's my issue with this. We're up in town hall meeting on violence. There's not a child in this room. There's not a child in this room. But before any of us came, before any of us came, if you ask any of the kids we know, what seems to be the problem? Right? Because for 5 years, they were shooting at my auntie Betty house. One of the young men that was in the shooting happened to be my car brother. He was one of the shooters. Dorian's gone. Right? Why? Over something real silly and real petty. But he wasn't the only one who lost his life. He's not the only one traumatized. Right? My other cousin was 2 people from me when he hit the ground. So we're talking about kids and about violence, about guns. But where are they getting these guns? Adults are buying these guns, giving them to the kids. They're not even stealing them no more. They're not even stealing them. Remember the armory? They broken that so many times, they shut them down. Adults are buying these kids these guns. And we're saying they're not gangbangers, they're not real gangs, and they're not. But they've been here long enough now, they have terrorized us enough that we're tired. So until you give them that gangbanger status, so they can get them indicted points, so they're not doing 21 days. Let's give them a day, what is it? A year and a day? Cause I'm tired. No Saturday. I'll be in the life center. Look at the mother who's lost her child. Over stupid. We've got to do something. We've got to ask these kids why they're so angry. Back in the day, you used to fight. And if they got you, you came back and got it again. There was a fight before the shooting. The young man in the fight got shot in the vein. But these kids are fighting over nothing. Nothing. That's not your parking spot. That's not your girl. If she was with somebody else yesterday, with somebody else 2 hours ago. Our kids are dying for nothing. We need men, we need mentors, we need things to do, but we need to ask them, why are they so angry?
That's right. You hear from them. That's correct.
Probably everybody don't know it as, I've been for like about 30 years. I'm a 24-year sergeant with surrounding agencies. And my thing, I got two parts. If the sheriff here, is the low sheriff. What I'm looking at is two parts. The city and the sheriff office. I'm from old school, I got 24 and a half years. Retired as a sergeant. We need to get our police department, not telling no one how to do their job, but I know it works because I've seen it. I've been in Miami. I've been in Major City, Duval. And see how they operate. Get out those cars and do walk. Whatever's going on with the bicycle, they should ride bicycle, you can ride on somebody. You know, just get out the cars. Some of the people don't even know some of the police. Just get out those cars instead of be proactive instead of reactive. You know, just walk the beat on the bikes. And also, for the school board, I think it's worth call that Kelly Smith. Was it Kelly Smith? It was a call. I got a call from my little net backing up. Everybody knew that saw it. They called me, put him on the phone, go to the front office, put him on the phone. He ain't had more trouble in your lunchroom to this day. Also, you know, also for the city, you know, I'm out of county. I seen them, like high school students, you know, trying to learn to play by itself. No, you're doing that wrong. I'm in uniform. I don't care. You know, you're doing this wrong. I'm a former coach also. You know, do this play right, you know. And also in St. Johns County, I sent a linebacker. He was a bad boy for Pedro Menendez. If you want to be a linebacker, you got to be tough. You know, do this play right. Now he's retired 4 years in the NFL. You know, that's how I gave back to the community. Just in Shaw, the county, the commission need help. I'm here for you. I'm also a mentor at my local church, right across and here at Bethel. You know, anybody welcome to join me at Bethel AME, level 19 read. We mentor our kids.
All right, thank you. We're gonna take a few more, and then we're gonna go to some of the solutions that we have in our area. So we'll take a few more. I believe the young lady that was in the orange had her hand. Then we'll go to the gentleman that's standing next to her. Then we'll come to you, and then we'll end with our youth. So we'll go in that order. And I believe someone was over here. We'll take you, and then Brother Flag.
Most everybody probably know me. I used to work in the school system myself, DOC. I seen from elementary school to high school, coming out of school. And I seen a lot of stuff. A lot of those kids need love. A lot of them come from broken homes. A lot of them ain't got no food. Because the parents is cracking and drinking or doing whatever, you know, with the monies and the food. So you follow that up with what the young man was saying, we're uneducated, you know, want to learn, but just some people just can't learn. They can learn, but if they learn in a different kind of way, you might have to cut that apple in 3 ways. When you can just tell that one to go ahead and just do this and they can do it. You know, so we got to address some of that. And when you don't address it, then when they're acting out because, oh, it's my turn to read, well, I'm about to act up because I know I can't read. You know, so now I need to do something. So I go to the office. Then you go to the office, you get a pound for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you come back, you're a little mad about that, but then it's a cycle. They go back over the same thing. So we got so much to address with some of these kids. Not all of them. Some of them coming from good homes. Parents that do know how to help their kids. This math they got now, my grandbaby brought something. Say, oh my God, I called the teacher, say, well, don't feel bad. We don't even know. Some of them, they don't even know how to do this. You know, so we got kids that's trying to learn stuff that they don't even know what they're doing. Then everything is fast paced now, you know, it's computerized.
You know, so if you don't know, a lot of the grandmamas in here, grandpapas might not understand that stuff, because I'm still learning, you know? And so dealing with that, I've had some kids to come in, because I will sit in the cafeteria sometimes, and they'll come in not knowing that I wasn't a student. Bullies is what I'm talking about. Oh, I need your seat. I'm like, and everybody looking at me like, I say, ma'am, I say, let me tell you. I say, baby, listen. I said, I'm not a child. I said, but you're not gonna get the seat, so you need to go take a seat. I mean, so this girl was so bad, so she would come to school with black eyes and everything. I would mentor her, I would talk to her and show her love.
Yeah.
And when I started showing her love, she changed. I said, everybody seemed to change her. So we need to love on some of these kids. I'm not talking about just no black kids. I'm talking about white, black, it doesn't matter. They can see me right now in the store. They'll say, hey, auntie, and I'm looking around and it might be a Puerto Rican boy, it might be a white boy, it might be, it doesn't matter. Like in my neighborhood right now, I'm known to be the nanny. I love every color kid, it doesn't matter. You walking down my street, they wanna fight, I call your mama, can I take her home? Can she get in my car? I don't care what color you are. I'm every kid. So we need to know that. We need, if you see something, say something, you know? I wanna say this. East Palaka, 2015, my niece was shot to death. It's just hard to even talk about it. Deidre Burley, that's my niece, my brother's child. A murder-suicide. 3 died. Right over in East Palaka, 2015. My anniversary, just last year, 4th of July. The shooting that hit Palaka, that was my grandbaby, got shot in the face, big gun. Went in this way, came out with, blew all this out. She's not dead, thank God for prayer. But right now she's struggling. She got so many surgeries that she's going through, so much pain. She gotta be on this drugs and stuff now that can make her addicted. All because someone shot her. And my thing is, what we're gonna do about that? I mean, if we're gonna crack the cases, I mean, if somebody know who's doing this stuff, you got to say something. I mean, our families are really hurting. My niece, she got like what, 5 kids? I mean, you know, this little girl, she was only 16. My grandbaby, just what, a couple months back. This shooting right here, some of those young people that got shot, you know, I knew them. It breaks my heart. Now, did that tie into what? I don't know. I hear rumors about maybe one of the young men that shot my baby got killed. I don't know. But y'all have to find out what happened. We gotta take a closed case. I don't know, but my heart go out to the mothers, because my mama, grandmama. We got 14 grown kids. We got over 30 grandbabies. We got great grands now. Got a big family. So every time I hear something like, oh my, this right here, it's like, I don't know what he had. I don't know what's going on. Every time I hear it, it just make me nervous. I'm like, oh my God, I get on the phone. Where you at? Because like I said, you got 14 right now. He got 10, I got 4. So my heart do get a little nervous when I hear, you know, sirens going. But when we see something, we gotta say something. Don't just hide back and not say, you know, somebody done hurt your child or hurt somebody's kid. You know, they got a big gun, a little gun, or now we got missiles and doggone bombs. They don't tell them what they're doing. You know, we can't say, I ain't saying they gangs, I don't know what they're doing. But we gotta get them back into the church. We gotta get them praying. Put Jesus back in their heart, the fear of God. Put the fear of God back in them. Then it won't be so much hate. I don't know this man right there, but I could just hate. I love you, man, you know? I don't mean to be touching, man. You know what I'm saying? I could do that. That's my husband right here. Thank everybody. Two goes and go hug when you get done, it doesn't matter, you know. And I get in trouble sometimes, but I just want to say that. We gotta love each other. I told this lady, you know what, I don't hug her. You know why? Because I got love in my heart. And it rub up on our kids, no matter what color we are. That's all I got to say. It's great for my family too.
And then we don't want to come short, but we want to be mindful of the time, so if we can, go ahead. Mr. Ben, you're gonna have to speak up, sir.
My name is Daniel McGee, and, Brown got here. I don't think these cases have been solved. And if they have, I don't know anything about it, but I keep hearing everybody say kids. It ain't just kids, it's bigger kids, 30 years old, whatever they do, say 14, 15, 20, it's a bunch of kids that y'all call, they grown up, that's doing a lot of this stuff. It ain't just the babies. And if we can get some of the drugs and stuff off the streets, I think, Evian, he came down and right across the street from me is a drug house. And they put him out, they not, when nightfall comes, they right back in. They're doing all kind of drugs, and people walking all around this house all the time, night, and stuff like that. So that's why every New Year, I let them know what's in my house. I like to nice it up out there. But what really made me mad, I saw in the paper this morning, there's no suspects or whatever. I got mad. I mean, because somebody saw something. And for those kids to be dead, no nobody know nothing, nobody's been arrested. I got mad when I saw that in the paper.
No closer than that. It takes a village to raise a child. You're supposed to be more closer than that. I've been in 20 years. But
Yeah, we got somebody else that's standing to speak for that.
can't help it here.
Hi, neighbors. I'm Melissa. I'm executive director of the Nehemiah Project. We are a nonprofit organization that has been in Putnam County for the last 13 years. There's a lot of nonprofits that have been here for a long time, doing a lot of work. But the problem that I've seen over and over and over and over again is we're not united. We're divided. We're never, ever gonna stand together. Trying so hard to make a difference, not even knowing there's this other group trying so hard, pouring out every penny that they have to make a difference. And if we would ever stop worrying about me, my, and mine, and start worrying about us, ours, we might actually make a difference as a community. We started a school and we tried with everything to get some traction going. And this was a school for the throwaway kids. I wanted them babies. Them were the babies that I wanted to work with. Dorian was one of my babies. Dorian was not the same kid that you see in a school of 300 students when you see him in a school of 10. So here's the problem that I have. You see a large group of adults gathering that are supposed to be formed developmentally, right? The frontal lobes know what's going on, can distinguish consequences, but yet there's fear of what they're going to do because there's such a large group that the officers come and they watch and they respond. But how many kids do we have attending the high school? Look at the large group of kids who come from these same homes of the adults who got this beef on the street, and they're hearing it, and then they're attending this huge group of students in one huge school. I mean, that to me, that's one of the biggest problems that we have. When we have not separated these kids, I'm telling you, Dorian, he wanted to learn. He wanted to know how the government works. I took these kids to the county commissioners meetings. I have a picture of him standing with a state senator. He wanted to know how to be an adult, but he wasn't the same kid when he got around these peers, right? Because there was a different kind of influence going on in his life. To me, the problem and the solution is all the same. It's all rooted in God. It's like the woman said back here, we have lost our fear of God. Amen. You lose fear of God, you lose fear of authority, you lose fear of parents. There's no respect anymore whatsoever. And I can guarantee you, I was very excited to see how many people were actually attending here tonight. But at the same time, so super discouraged. Because how big is our community? But I'm gonna tell you right now, every person in this room vows to pray every morning for our community, sincerely on your knees, praying. I don't care what your relationship with God is, start. You will see the difference in this community. Why? Because it's a promise and the only book of truth that we have that we can depend upon in this life. I've tried a lot of things in this world and they've been lies and they've left me empty.
Amen.
I've been in the army, I got a bachelor's degree, I've also been to prison. I'm also working on a master's degree. I'm kind of all around there. I got a whole lot of scope of experience. And I'm gonna tell you, there's one thing that's a solution to all of this. We have to unite. We have to come together. What you're doing is amazing, and it's starting on Doreen's birthday,
On
January 6th.
community
This is
president, I'm
birthday.
bringing program and grant money. They're gonna help.
But it's more than this.
It's more.
We have to get together. The grant money, y'all don't be fooled. There is money out there. So much money. It's ridiculous, okay? I have sat meeting after meeting after meeting, that people are worried about what's going in their pocket, not what's going in this community, and it's gotta stop. The silos, what are we doing about transportation? Well, this organization, they've got grant funding for transportation for their patients or their clients. This organization has transport. Well, why can't we just all come together with that money and provide transportation for our community? Because nobody can get credit for that. It ain't about that. We got to let go of that, because if we're not standing together united, ain't nothing ever gonna change in this community. And there is, like somebody said, there is too much love. Way too much love in this room to waste it worrying about who's getting the attention for what. And the other thing I just want to say is we have to be careful how we talk to these kids. They are just little people. They ain't no less. Some of these kids are smarter than me and you, whether you want to admit it or not, and you can't just be talking down to them. Talk to them like they're your equal. There's no respect, give respect. And some of y'all cringe when I said that. Act like you didn't, you did. You have to give them respect. These kids need respect. How you talk to them means everything. You know, I mean, I can talk to one of the biggest, but I'm gonna show them respect, and guess what? I'm sorry, yes, ma'am. They're gonna open, I told this young man, you don't ever let a woman open the door by herself. Never again did I open a door again, right? It's the way you talk to people. And then I also want to point out, like I said, I've been in the community doing stuff for free, and I don't say that to get any kind of claps or anything, but you gotta look when you have these meetings, who's there because they're getting paid and who's there because they ain't. How do we show our kids we care? Really, I mean, do our kids know? Do we care? Because you go to the school board meetings, and how many parents are actually there? And so now you've got teachers and staff at the school that's like, well, the parents don't care, how can we care? There's too much for us to care about, right? And we gotta start showing up. We show up for what matters. And that's the reality. You make time for what's important in your life. And if our kids and our future in this community matters, then it's time to start making time for it. And I'm telling you, y'all start praying. I don't care if you ever never prayed before. Make a commitment to start praying, and we will see change. No matter what happens, we will see change.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Gwendolyn Adrian. Usually from San Mateo. Military, vice mayor, city of Belgrade, treasurer, a whole lot of stuff. But we've got the answers in this room tonight. We have the answer. It is up to the commissioners to execute it with us. When we talk about money, you had money to do whatever you wanted to do. You found a way. We don't have to go out to find the money. The money is there. Like, ditto what everybody else said. Because we care. We live here. We don't want to live in fear. We don't want our children and young adults. What do you have? What's out there for the young adults to do? What's out there for the children to do? We've got pockets of people trying to do it, but we need to come together collectively. We need to sit down and have a forum. If we have to go to the school or the school board and request where we can talk to groups of them.
You can't talk to a freshman the same way you talk to somebody in 11th and 12th grade. We have to sit down. Those people that was over there, why do you think they were there? Because they ain't had nowhere else to go. She had a place. She had a place. She has a place, but it's not enough. So when we come back, after you give us our solutions, before we leave tonight, we need to be able to say, when we're gonna come back, so we know what the decisions are. So we, the people that's in here, if everybody just brought one more person to the next meeting, don't tell them to come, put them in the car with you, and you know they come. And then we can see progress. But if we're not gonna hold you accountable, we'll be in the same boat.
Thank you. Then we're gonna reflect and then we'll go switch over to, some of the solutions.
My name is Campbell, 20 years old. So I've heard about the violence going on in Blackton. And, personally, I believe that, like some people have said, the kids are angry. They are lashing out because they don't know how to approach other people or tell them what they want, what's going on. So, yes, more mentors and counseling should be needed, like in more schools. That way they can be talked to, if the parents can't do it. That way they know, like, what they need to do and how they can help, stuff like that. And then, like people said, if you see something, you say something. Because if you did see something about where that crowd was on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, like you could maybe inform, like all the law enforcement before it could have gotten worse. That way it wouldn't have gotten worse. It wouldn't maybe wouldn't fail and all that. And then also, last thing. Okay, so there needs to be more young leaders like myself, to help inspire others. That way they can promote positive thinking and action. That way less violence like this happens in the community. And like my grandma has said, it takes a village to raise a child.
Amen. Good evening, everyone. I don't think I'm afraid because most of those are in this room. God has let me live 65 years, made it like home. I have been on both sides of the mountain. I've been to the top of the mountain. I've also been in the valley. Most of you know that during the course of my day, I'm at a funeral home, I'm at a church, and I'm at a county jail. Law enforcement chaplain, senior pastor of Mount Tabor for the past 33 years, and I've been around the funeral home for over 50 years of my life. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've also seen how our community appears to be galvanized after we have events. And all of a sudden, the super glue loses its potency and loses its power. There are too many individuals who think that if it's not their idea, that it's not a good idea. We have to have solidarity. That's the new word for today, solidarity. A house divided cannot stand. I tell folk all the time, I want to see you at church. I don't want to see you in jail. I don't want to see you at my funeral home.
Right.
All of the cases that you all have made mention of, who lost their lives fatally in Putnam County, St. Johns County, and Flagler County, I or my brother have been at the scene. I'm no robot. It hurts me to my heart to have to deal with not only a deceased person who didn't have to be deceased, but to deal with their families. Many individuals are angry, mad, upset, troubled, and disturbed, and they don't even know why. It's because it's in an environment, and the environment starts in the first place we learn, and we call it H OME. Home. We not only need classes to deal with conflict resolution and anger management for our children. We need parenting classes. We got to be big brothers and big sisters to their children. And for the most part, people say we had drug problems all along. The difference is 40 years ago, the drug problems were, the children were drugged to church. There's a different drug problem that we're dealing with today. For anybody to think that there is no little to no activity going on in Palatka and in Putnam County, where have you been? Law enforcement is doing everything they can possibly do with the staff they have throughout this county. School district is doing everything that they know to do. Sororities and fraternities are moving in every direction they possibly can. There are individuals with small businesses. There are corporate sponsors that are making a positive difference in the lives of our children every single day in this city and in this county. All of us need to wake up.
Yes.
All of us need to wake up. It's not an us for and no more mentality. One church can't do it all. One school can't do it all. One law enforcement agency can't do it all. It's going to take solidarity. And it's time for all of the subdivisions for the walls to fall. Whatever differences of opinion, some folk don't like it, they don't even know it. I may not say it like you think I should say it, but I want to tell you something, and I'm closing. This one right here. Born in poverty, the problem is everybody knew it but us. Raised in public housing. And my house was just as important as anybody else's house. Because when we moved to public housing, we moved out of a shotgun house, and I think some of y'all know what that is. I'm talking about the bathroom on the back porch. There was no such thing as a hot water heater. Hot water heater was a big pot on the stove. I never look in my rearview mirror while I'm driving and stare at it. I glance it when I'm moving forward.
That's right.
My mother raised us as a single parent. We were on AFDC, AKA welfare. You know what I'm saying? Mama taught us how to love, honor, respect everybody. All adults, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. The school can't do that.
That's right.
We got to start in the home. I close with this. Either we're part of the problem or part of the solution. If all of us stop being thermometers and start being thermostats, our community will rise up.
Okay.
What are you saying? Always say, I'm cold, I'm hot. You want to make a difference? Put the thermostat where it needs to be. And that's all I'm saying. Let's reset, let's reignite, and let's bring this community together. And it's going to take cooperation from every factor, not faction, every factor. Thank you for listening.
We appreciate everyone who voiced their opinions. I stated, I'm here tonight to listen. I was quiet for a reason. And so we're going to get with our team. We're going to assemble on the city level and have discussions. And we're going to bring back when our next meeting is going to be. But we want to make sure that it's done in a fashion where we come to continue the work and not we start to work with a lot of meetings that we see happening around. So we're going to go ahead and now talk about some of the solutions. One of the solutions that I want to talk about, everyone says mentoring. Well, I have a mentoring program through the Putnam County School District, which is Reach One, Teach One. We have Take Stock in Children. So there's plenty of opportunities for those of you that want to serve as mentors, to become mentors and work with our students in the Putnam County School District. Ms. Forster, she has put mentors into her school, and I'm quite sure at this point she's not turning away anyone to come into our schools. So at this moment, I want to hear from our recreation department real briefly, but I really want to highlight Palaca Police Athletic League and some of the works, because people say there's nothing to do, but Palaca Police Athletic League is true in the things that they are doing in this community with our youth. And so again, we want to make sure that when we leave here tonight, we're not leaving on a sour note, we're leaving on a high note, because there was a plethora of information that was provided. There's a lot of things to ponder on. There's a lot of things that we need to take into consideration and put those things in forms that are tangible and the timeline that in which we can reach them, if we can reach them. So I want to hear again from our recreation department with some of the things that they have going on, and then we will go directly into Ms. Melita and Ms. Michelle offered, and then we will wrap this thing up with a prayer by our community chaplain, city chaplain, Mr. Longberry, Pastor Longberry.
My name's Eddie Cutright. I'm the Community Affairs Director. This is my recreation coordinator. We are housed over at the old Jacob Middle School.
Say again, please.
We're housed at the old Jacob Middle School.
Microphone.
Talk loud. I've never been told that I can talk loud enough. Again, my name is Eddie Cutright. I'm the Community Affairs Director for the City of Black. And as I said, Mr. Reno Field is my recreation coordinator. We're located at the old Jenkins Middle School, 1900 Napoleon, on Napoleon Street. We have several programs, and I heard one of the gentlemen the other night, earlier tonight, talking about basketball and stuff. We have open gym, and even though the center is not totally renovated yet, but we're still going through some projects, we tried to open up the center a couple nights a week so the kids can come in and shoot. Over the holiday season, we had about 10 or 15 kids coming in and shoot a couple nights a week. Also on Monday nights, stop on the holiday, we do chess. We have chess for the kids. Right, what time? 4:30 to 6. The last couple of nights, we had about 17 kids per session. It's actually nice. If you're on our Facebook page, you can see some of the pictures that we have going on. We have had soccer programs over there, 80-some kids in that program. We have had flag football, 100 kids in those programs. So we're doing things. Hopefully we can get better at reaching out to the community so they know what we got going over there. And once we finish the renovations over the building, we'll have a nice grand opening and you'll know where we at. But we are, the community center is not totally open yet, but we open up the doors as much as we can to keep the kids something to do while we can, along with the renovation that we got going on. Mr. Fales and Chief Shaw and a couple more, we've been working on a neighborhood improvement team to kind of work on reaching the kids at the roots, reaching the parents at the roots. I mean, the tragic thing that happened a couple of weeks ago is tragic. But until we get to the roots and give people a sense of pride, it's going to continue to happen. I'm not from here, and I been here about 5.5 years, and I really love Palaca. I'm a Tennessee guy, but it's happening in Tennessee just as Palaca. So don't think you're surrounded in this little bubble and it's only you, it's everywhere. But you're here tonight showing me and showing the people here that y'all ready for change. Y'all want change. So hopefully as the community center can get together and listen from y'all. As you signed in tonight, you had a section that said volunteer and it was yes or no. That right there, we're gonna put that list together and have y'all come to the center and sit down and talk to us about what we can do. That same night when you come, bring a youth. Bring somebody in your household that you know that need to hear a message. Or can give us some information that they want. Because I'm double for 50 plus. I don't know what the kids want no more. But I can know how to find out what they want. So help me, help you, help this community get to be that gem city they used to be.
Good evening, right quick, as Mr. Napier was talking earlier, and I think someone else mentioned there, individuals talk about nothing in the community for folks to do. As Reverend Flagg, former mayor, has talked about, there's a lot going on in Putnam County, Palaca. I think one of the issues is how do we get information to places where it's not getting to? And I think that's one of the biggest barriers that we've been discussing is how do we connect with people that need the information. I'll tell you, for one, when we do our flag football, we had over 100 kids, flag or soccer programs at a time. We've had team forums and different events. And thanks Commissioner Campbell always for his support. Yeah, oftentimes, out of those 100 youth that we have in our programs, if I don't get on that golf cart and go door to door, we won't have that many kids. And so ultimately is how, what we're gonna need to know from people is, why are you not getting information and how do we get it to you better? And that's what we wanna do. So another, as Mr. Cartwright was mentioning, coordination of resources. Because what happens is, the question becomes, as I just said, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of activity. But ultimately, why are we still having the problems we're having? If we got so much going on, and there are. What that means is we aren't coordinated. We got to coordinate the efforts and bring all the resources to the table from a problem-solving perspective. And so what we're doing, we've been planning over a month, myself and the police chief, Mr. Cutright, other department heads here, about bringing all the resources to the table. So after tonight, we'll do that. I won't belabor that, but just be listening out. And again, on that volunteer form, fill that form out. We'll put your name on it. We'll be making contact with you so that you can participate in that program. Thank you.
You know me, my name is Lolita Thomas. I serve as the executive director for the Placer Police Athletic League. This is Michelle also, who is one of the program coordinators. I'm going to talk about the programs for PAL, and once Michelle gets done, I would like, if okay, Commissioner, that I talk about also the Life Center, because I heard a few things that came up. Is that okay? So for PAL, we have several programs that we have for our youth. One is definitely a mentor program. I've heard mentor several times. When we first started the mentor program, and Chief would know, we would move around. We wasn't consistent with our locations. We weren't consistent with our times, but we have been fortunate enough to where now we have a stable location. So what we did, we have a time frame that doesn't change. Second Sunday, fourth Sunday, 3 to 5. The Family Life Center is open to all youth to come. We have mentors that's ready to mentor them. We've been averaging close to 80 to 100 kids that's coming out on these Sundays, and we want more. Through this mentor program, we've been able to take some of our teens who have never left the city of Palatka on trips. We've taken them to Washington, D.C., and all of this is done through grants. So yes, it's done through grants. I heard people mentioning about grants. So we're able to offer these activities, but we need parents to encourage the kids to come out, to encourage them to participate, to show up. You know, they come one time and then some may say, oh, but we don't have parents pushing them. My parents said, if you signed up for something, you're gonna see it through. We don't have parents doing that anymore. So we have a mentor program open, second Sunday, fourth Sunday, 3 to 5. We also have basketball program. Registration is open right now for winter basketball. We want some young people to sign up for basketball. We also have esports. We want some young people who love to do gaming to come and sign up to do esports. Again, all of this is being housed at the Family Life Center. 3 to 5, second and fourth Sundays. We also have summer camp. Now we talk about summer camp. Summer camp is a 7-week program. We charge $200 for 7 weeks. Tell me where you can get a summer camp program like that. And it's not just a small summer camp program, so I'll let Michelle talk a little more about that. But sign kids up to just not sit home during the summer. Start planning now. Put money aside. Encourage parents to put money aside. Get kids enrolled to doing something during the summer. They do academics. They work on math. They work on reading. They have field trips. So we encourage participation in those programs.
Good evening. If I could have, I have a few of my mentors in the building. If I could have you just to stand up and identify yourself as a power mentor. Just a few of those that come out and dedicate their time on the second and fourth Sunday, and in addition to other community service projects. These individuals work together, we work together, not just through PAL, but we are district employees also, the most of us. And we work within the schools to also maximize the potential for, those kids that really need us, which are all kids, including mine. I will vouch that it does start at the house, because I have a 17-year-old, and I know if I was not her mom saying, yes, this is what you're gonna do, she probably would have already backed down a couple of things, but they don't know what's good for them. So for right now, she's doing exactly what I feel is good for her. So through the mentoring program, that's exactly what we try to do for the other kids. Whatever we would have for our kids, we will have for your kids, including firm discipline, when it comes down to it, and helping them understand, not just saying no, or this is not what you're supposed to be doing. We're helping them understand the decisions and why we're telling them no, or why we're telling them this is the wrong thing to do. I'm always open and looking for mentors. I am encouraging you all, please, 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 if you are interested in being a mentor, or if you say, hey, I don't want to be a mentor, but how can I, contribute? Everybody may not want to actually be a mentor, but there's something that everybody can do with their power. We can't do it all alone. We have kids that have not been assigned a mentor. Why? Because through National Power, there's a 7-to-1 ratio. So that means that I really do need several more mentors. At the Life Center, the kids, they have fun. So please, if you can, outside of the mentoring program, our cheer program is also a part of the mentoring program, because they just don't shake pom-pom. Basketball, we get out during their practices and we actually have many lessons with them. We actually let them talk to us and we talk back to them. So I do encourage everyone that's interested to please step up, get with myself or Lolita, and we will definitely be open to speaking with you and giving you further information about PAL's program. Thank you.
And also, another key for PAL, we teach our kids how to give back to the community. We do several community service projects, and even some of our grants. That's a requirement to even get grant funding, is that we have community service activities for our youth, showing them how to give back to the community. So we do several community service and encourage participation in that. I wanted to speak a little bit about the Family Life Center. I heard it's one of, and it's a project of mine, and the Family Life Center is owned by the Calvary Missionary Baptist Church. If you haven't seen the Life Center, inside of the Life Center, there is a basketball court. There's a lot of young men. We open it up on Sunday afternoon, sometimes on Friday nights. When we're not talking about just the small kids, but our young adults are coming in and also doing open basketball and practicing. We have skating in there. There's an indoor pool, the Junior Olympic size pool that's in there. And that's been my project. I've been working very hard to get that open, because I want our kids, especially during our summer camp, to have swimming lessons. That's one of the goals that I've been working with for the Family Life Center, is to actually have swimming lessons for our kids. So we do have that indoor pool. It can be a heated pool. We're working on looking at what it will cost to get the heaters repaired, so that it can actually be used year round for summer, even can be used for therapy. So that Family Life Center has a lot of opportunities. There's a fitness center inside of the facility as well that's being utilized. So we utilize that facility as well for our kids as well as our young adults. So if you have any questions for us about our PAL programs, if you'd like to be a mentor, please let us know. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you all for sticking it out. We know that sometimes these things can be long and drawn out, but I do believe that there are some things of substance that we can take away from tonight. And as you go out into the community, we want you to be an active part in our community. There are a lot of things that are going on in Palaca, but we want to make sure that you are actively involved in the healing and the restoration of our city. At this time, we are going to close in an official prayer by our city chaplain, Pastor Alonzo Marbury. And you will be hearing back from us in the days to come with regards to another meeting that is going to continue this conversation, also provide some solutions as we move forward.
God bless you. Come and let us stand. If it's not an inconvenience to you, would you please just grab the hand of the neighbor that is next to you and say this with you to your neighbor. Say, neighbor, together we are there. Father, we give you thanks and we give you praise. We thank you, dear God, for this session tonight. Pray, God, that you will give us the wisdom that is necessary for a winning strategy for our troubled world. Certainly for our troubled community. God, you see everything as it is. We pray for the wisdom to be able to do what is necessary in this city. We pray, God, that you will bless every ideal that have come before you this day. We ask God for your guidance and all that we undergird to do for your glory. And when we have left this place, God, keep it on our minds and on our hearts, that we may understand that we are better when we are together. It is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.